So you've got two or more cameras that you want to switch between during your animation. To do this, we need to bind our cameras at different points in the timeline. So first, we need to make sure we have our timeline open. You can switch to it in any menu with this button and choosing the clock shape. First of all, I'm going to bind my current active camera, which happens to be the first one in my animation. I'll need to bind it to the timeline even though it's the active camera. This is important because if we don't bind the first camera, it will just automatically switch to the second camera from the start of the animation. With my camera selected in object mode, I'm going to first add a marker to my timeline by pressing M in the timeline menu, making sure I'm on any frame before I want the cameras to change. For me, this is at frame 81. For simplicity's sake, I'll just choose frame 1 and press M. Make sure you're pressing M in the timeline. Then we'll bind my camera to the marker by pressing Ctrl B. Again, make sure you do this inside of the timeline. Now you can see a camera icon with our camera's name has appeared. You can think of it as I'm taking control of the camera and then binding it to the marker with B. So Ctrl B. Now we'll go to the frame where you want to switch cameras. For me, that's frame 81. I'll then make sure to select my other camera in the 3D viewport. Then back in my timeline, I'll press M to add a marker, then Ctrl B to bind our selected camera to this marker. Now you'll notice from this frame onward, our second camera is now the active one, indicated by this black triangle. You can see back at frame 1 or any frame before 81, this black triangle is present on our first camera. If I go into camera view by pressing this button here, or numpad 0 if you have a numpad, and press play, you can see at frame 81 the camera has changed. You can also move a marker by left clicking it and just dragging it around. You can also delete a marker by clicking it and then just pressing X and then choosing delete markers. Now when I switch frame to update, you can see our animation is only using our first camera. I'll press Ctrl Z to undo that change. Let's have a quick quiz to recap what we learned. Number 1, what do we bind our camera to on the timeline? Number 2, what is the hotkey to bind our camera? Number 3, why is it important to bind both cameras to the timeline and not just the second one? Make sure to pause the video, and when you're ready to answer the questions, you can press play again. Number 1, what do we bind our camera to on the timeline? We binded our camera to a marker on the timeline. We added our marker by pressing M, and then to bind our selected camera, we pressed Ctrl B. We can think of it as B for bind. Number 2, what is the hotkey to bind our camera? As I just explained in the first question, we pressed Ctrl B to bind our camera to our marker. Number 3, why do we bind both cameras to the timeline and not just the second one? We done this because if we were to only bind the second one, only the second one would be present for the entire animation. We need to tell Blender that it needs to start with the first camera, so we binded the first camera as well. If you're not sure if you answered correctly, write your answers in the comments and I'll answer your questions. Also, if you enjoy my teaching style, I also provide one-on-one coaching, completed with personalized lessons and post-lesson quiz questions and support. Link in the description if you're interested. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. You can also support the channel by making a one-time donation through Super, but even just liking, subscribing and sharing if you enjoyed is more than enough to support the channel. Thank you again for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.